Hi friends, let us come back to our video number 2. In the video number 1, what we had seen, just recollect in your memory, landscape of the soul. First the comparison between Chinese method of painting and European method of painting. So European method of painting is a illusionistic likeness, where the painter wants you to borrow his eyes. That means the audience should see the painting as the painter wants the audience to see it accordingly. But the Chinese painter gives him the freedom to view it in different angles and travel through it mentally and spiritually. Okay now? So your mind should be traveling through that painting up and down, and you can see in different viewpoints. In your own viewpoints, you are free to view it. That is why, is it not so? See, landscape of the soul. So landscape picture. Is it not so? Yes. So that is seen through the soul. You see, or the mind. That is the essence of this, lesson or the story or the essay. So you see it not through the eyes outwardly. You watch it, understand it using your mind. See, your soul. So your soul will go into the painting, into the artistic work, and you are able to analyze and understand on your own. That is the essence of Chinese painting. So actually in this lesson, the importance is given or explanation is given for Chinese painting. Okay now. So the first example we take, first paragraph itself, we saw Taoism, Taoist painting. Is it also? So painting on the wall, and in at the bottom of that painting, cave was there, and the painter went into the cave and door was closed and he was not seen anymore. So he told the emperor that I will show you the way. It is symbolizing that only an artist can show the emperor the way into it, into the artistic talents. Yes, that is the role of an artist. Is it not so? Artist means all kinds of artists, those who are expressing things of beauty. Okay, now that is what we saw in the first part of the essay, and we saw that Tang dynasty. Is it not so? The emperor belonged to Tang dynasty. It ruled from 618 to 917. Yes, 300 years almost. Okay, now in 690 to 705 it was not Tang dynasty, except that around 300 years they ruled China. So for a long time they were ruling the great nation China. So we are coming to second part of it. We saw page number where is it? 35, last paragraph we saw, and the Chinese painter allows him to walk through the painting using your mind and soul. Yes. So what is the landscape of that soul? We are going to see this next paragraph, the most important of this lesson. This concept is expressed as a Shang Shui. Shang Shui. I have already told that Chinese names are comedy for us. We are not that familiar with Ching Ching Chuan, Japanese name or Chinese name. Literally mountain water. So it is Shang Shui means mountain water. So both these extremes, mountain and water. Let us see what is that. Which used together represent the word landscape. Together, mountain and water together represent what? Landscape. You see. So landscape means mountain and water together. Mountain water. Okay now? Yes. More than two elements of an image. More than two elements of an image. These represent two complementary poles. You see? Reflecting the Taoist view of the universe. So this reflects the Taoist view of the universe. Entire universe, this is complementing both the poles. One is mountain, one is water. One is mountain standing tall, reaching the sky. One is water, horizontal. Same plane, same level to the horizon. Okay, na? One is just opposite but complementing each other. Yes, the mountain is yang. In Chinese word yang. Okay, na? So mountain is yang. Mountain they call in Chinese as yang. Yang in Chinese means mountain. The mountain reaching vertically towards heaven. Reaching upwards towards heaven. I mean stable, warm and dry in the sun. It is so stable, warm and dry in the sun. While the water is in. You see, in Chinese word is in. Horizontal and resting on the earth. Fluid, moist and cool. So just opposite extremes, two poles. See, mountain water. Mountain is standing tall. The landscape of the soul is here. That means the soul of Chinese painting is here. That you have to, understand, evaluate and enjoy it through your soul. Not by your eyes. Your eyes simply cannot see the outward. I can see only outward, you cannot understand it. To understand it, you must go into the soul. Using your soul, using your mind. So, two elements are there. One is mountain, one is water. Mountain standing tall, water just opposite of that. And both should be complementing each other. Not contradicting, but complementing each other. Yes, the interaction of the yin, the receptive, feminine aspect of universal energy. So, yin stands for the feminine aspect. You see? And then what is of course a fundamental notion of Taoism. One more is there, and his counterpart yang, active and masculine. So one is feminine and one is masculine. Mountain stands for masculine, standing tall, and feminine stands for water. So mountain, water, both complementing each other. See, masculine and feminine. So those should be complementing, not contradicting and fighting, but complementing each other. This element is there. See, not only in painting but also in almost all art forms you can find this masculine element and feminine element. See, take for example the art form of dance. Bharatanatyam, do you know what is Bharatanatyam? Yes. So dance form, extreme, form of dance. There is a classical form of dance. That's what I was trying to express. Classical form of dance is Bharatanatyam. The word Bharatam means Bhavaragatalam Bharatam. Okay, na? Bhavaragatalam is Bharatam. Bharatanatyam. Natyam is dance. See, Natyam should be Bharatam. Okay, na? See, Natyam. You see, Natyam actually stands for masculine dance. See, Bhavaragatalam, Bharatam. See, Bharatanatyam. Natyam, that is Bharatam. That is masculine actually. Then what is about feminine? Lasya Nrittam. Bharatanatyam and Lasya Nrittam. See, Nrittam or dance should be Lasya Bhavam. So it should, complement with that masculine. So do you know who is the, king or emperor of all dance forms? Nadaraja. Evaru? Who is that? Shiva. Shivadu. Okay, na? Yes, he is a Nadaraja. You better see Nadaraja Shilpam. Isn't it so? Yes, actually in him there is an element of feminine also. You see, Shiva Parvati dance is there. Isn't it so? It's a complementing each other. See, Shiva stands for that, Natyam, and Parvati stands for the Lasya Bhavam. So, Bharatanatyam and Lasya Bhavam is combined. In Shiva itself, that element of, feminine is there, no? You might have seen, what is that, Ardhanarishwara Shilpam, have you seen? Ardhanarishwara Shilpam, have you seen? In that, Shiva, Parvati, both are combined. This is there. So in all art forms, you can find the combination of masculine and feminine element. What I am telling is this. In all art forms, you can find the, complementing each other. Complementing masculine element as well as feminine element. See, that is what Shiva Parvati, Nrittam also. That's what I was trying to express. Same way here. So, mountain water. Mountain stands for masculine. Standing tall, straight, warm. And water stands for feminine. So both are complementing each other. They are complementing each other. That is what Chinese landscape painting is. And you have to watch it through your soul, your mind. The summary of this essay, the lesson is this. So your soul should be able to understand Chinese landscape painting. It's a complement which is, having both elements, standing on both poles. One is masculine, one is feminine. A combination of both is the essence of Chinese painting, Chinese landscape painting. To understand that landscape painting, you have to use your soul, your atma, your mind. That is the, suitability, of our landscape of the soul. Yes, it is a landscape, it's a picture, of the soul. Is it not so? Expressing your soul. Yes. Okay, now? The interaction of the yin, the receptive feminine aspect of universe energy, and its counterpart yang, active and masculine. Both these elements can be seen in Chinese painting. See, masculine and feminine is of course a fundamental notion of Taoism. It is an essential part of Taoist painting. That is our lesson is about. What is often overlooked is an essential third element. There is a third element also is there. Apart from masculine and feminine, there is another element, a third element. The middle void where their interaction takes place. Yes, in the middle of the painting, an empty space is there. The interaction between masculine and feminine takes place there in that void or empty space. This can be compared with the yogic practice of pranayama. Yes, this void where the interaction between masculine and feminine takes place can be compared with our yogic practice of pranayama. Pranayama. Breathe in and breathe out. You take the breath in, keep it there for some time and then breathe it out. Yes, breathe in, you retain it for some time and breathe out. The suspension of breath is a void where mediation occurs. So you keep it for some time, there the mediation takes place between masculine and feminine, etc. etc. Okay, the middle void is essential. Of course, the middle void is essential part of this mediation. Nothing can happen without it. Hence the importance of a white unpainted space in Chinese landscape. That is a reason why there is a white and unpainted part that you can see in the middle of Chinese landscape painting. This is also where man finds a fundamental role. There, the element of man finds a basic and fundamental role. In that space between heaven and earth, two extreme poles, he becomes the conduit of communication, means the medium of communication. He becomes the conduit of communication, means medium of communication. The man becomes the medium of communication between both the poles. Between both the poles of the universe. Both extremes of the universe. The man becomes the medium of communication. Yes. Okay. His presence is essential. Of course, his presence is very much essential. Even if it is only suggested. Far from being lost or oppressed by the lofty peaks, he is, in Francois Cheng's wonderful expression, the eye of the landscape. The man is the eye of the landscape. He is quite essential. The presence of man is essential in between heaven and earth. Both the poles, one is heaven, one is earth. See, in between both, there should be the presence of man. See, as a medium of, communication. He stands, he represents as a medium of communication, and his presence is essential in that Taoist form of painting. That is our landscape of the soul. So the landscape of the soul, the lesson they say, presents a clear view, a clear picture of how the Chinese landscape painting is and what is the role the soul has to do in that. For the soul, it is using your soul, using your mind, only you can read them, understand them, evaluate them, enjoy them. So the painter gives you freedom to it in your own viewpoint using your mind. You can go into the painting, travel up and down, or horizontal you can travel and enjoy it in your own way. But you must have a heart to enjoy that, soul to enjoy that, or to read it and understand. That is our lesson, the landscape of the soul. So the title is quite apt to this ISA, landscape of the soul. Is it clear to you? I hope it is clear. Something more is there related with the art. Okay. Getting inside outsider art. The last part of our lesson. When French painter Jean Dubuffet mooted, means proposed or suggested, mooted, the concept of art breadth. Art breadth means outsider art. Outsider art means not in the mainstream of art. The art exhibited by those who are not in the mainstream of art, or they are not a real artists, amateurs, inexperienced people. The art work by the inexperienced people is called art breadth or outsider art. Of course, there are a lot of good painters, artists, etc. and etc. But there are a group of people who are not really artists. They don't have any special training, any experience, nothing is there. They express, their own inner soul. There is outsider art or art breadth. You can express yourself now. Any man can, all men will have some artistic element in him. There is no man who cannot sing, So he can sing, may not be that sweet as other singers sing. He can sing in his own way. The same way one can paint, all can paint. So we have that element of art in our mind, isn't it so? If you have a heart, to enjoy the beauty of nature, and etc., all those things connected with art, you can also express yourself. In such a way, there's a lot of people who would like to express themselves in their own way. And their world is known as art breadth or outsider art. Art works by the inexperienced or amateurs. That is known as art breadth. Art breadth or outsider art. What does it mean? It means artistic work by the inexperienced amateurs, etc. and etc. Okay now? Yes. In 1940s, the art of the untrained, they are not trained, untrained visionary was of minority interest. It was not of importance. See, only very few people were interested in that. It was of minority interest. That means very few only were interested in such kind of art. Art breadth or outsider art. From his almost veiled beginnings, yes, not open but hidden. Means beginning was not unknown. Okay now, veiled, hidden beginning. Yes, outsider art has gradually become, it has become the fastest growing area of interest. It has become the fastest growing area of interest in contemporary art internationally. In the contemporary art, it has become fastest growing art, nationally and internationally. This genre, this type is described as the art of those who have no right to be artists. See, by the professional standards, they have no right. According to expert artists, they would say he is not an artist, he does not have any experience, he does not know how to do that in a professional way. In a professional way. So they have no right to be artists according to professional standards. That is why. Okay, as they have received no formal training. Yes, they have no training, no previous experience, no trained one. They are amateurs, inexperienced. Yet to show talent and artistic insight. Still they show, what do they show? Talent and artistic insight. They have got the talent and artistic insight. Their works are a stimulating contrast to a lot of mainstream offerings. See, it is in a way a contrast to the mainstream artistic work. So, quite contrasting to there. It is not an experienced artwork. They don't follow any, conventional art methods. So, it's in contrast to the mainstream artwork, they make their own artistic talents, artistic works. Around the time Dubuffet was propounding his concept. During that time in India, around the time, he was propounding, suggesting the art breadth in India. An untutored genius, untrained genius. In India there was one, an untrained genius was creating paradise. So he was creating paradise. Paradise means what? Paradisa. What does it mean? It means something like him. Actually, paradise is that word comes from Bible. Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Is it not so? The first man to be created, according to Bible, is Adam. And God gave him a companion, Eve. They were sent to a garden, Eden. You see? And they lived there happily, and they were told that they should not eat the fruit from a tree that is standing in the middle of the paradise. But Satan from hell came to tempt them, and Satan, came and asked the snake, and the snake came. Satan came through the snake to tempt our Eve, and Eve was asked to eat that forbidden fruit. Is it not so? And Eve ate and gave to Adam. Adam ate the forbidden fruit, which stands for sin, pavamu. Okay, now? And God came and punished them both, and they were sent out, from the Garden of Eden. See, they sinned, that is why Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Paradise means everything is fully okay. So in that garden, Eden, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So there everything was perfect. Whatever they want, fruits are there, whatever they want. They were able to get it. That's what paradise, the significance of it. Yes. So an untutored genius was creating paradise. In a way it was a paradise. That means as equal as Garden of Eden. So super, supreme. As equal as Garden of Eden. Yes. So he was creating a paradise. Years ago, the little patch of jungle, actually a piece of jungle, that he began clearing to make himself a garden, sculptured with stone and recycled material. So he made a garden sculptured with sculpture. Statues are being made, okay now, with stone and recycled material. Yes, recycled material, broken things, is known to the world today as the rock garden. Yes, it is known to the outside world as a rock garden at Chandigarh. It is at Chandigarh. So we are going to see its 80-year-old creator and director Nekchand. Yes, his art breadth. He was expressing his form of art in the form of a garden. So using recycled material and a stone. So he made a garden, a wonderful garden. Is it not so? Yes, name of it is a rock garden at Chandigarh. And his 80-year-old creator Nekchand, he is now hailed, he is praised as India's biggest contributor to outsider art. So he is India's biggest contributor to outsider art, because just using recycled material and some stone, he was creating a paradise there, by name rock garden. Okay, now you can see textbook, all the pictures of that rock garden, etc. and etc. Okay, so the 15th issue of Raw Vision, 15th issue of Raw Vision, a UK based magazine, which is pioneer in outsider art publications. A UK magazine which is a pioneer of publication related to art breadth and outsider art, features Nekchand. It featured Nekchand and his rock garden sculpture. Yes, it featured rock garden and Nekchand and sculpture. Rock garden sculpture, woman by the waterfall. Yes, a special kind of statues are there. One woman by the waterfall on his anniversary issues cover. So it was on the cover page of anniversary issue of UK based magazine, Raw Vision. So even UK based magazine Raw Vision publicized it, giving it on the cover page of that Raw Vision. Okay. The notion of, let us continue with the next paragraph. The notion of art breadth or raw art was of works that were in their raw state as regards cultural and artistic influences. So actually this art form is in the raw art, unpolished art, that is not professional. They do in their own way, but it's enjoyable, interesting. Is it not so? In a way, paradise can be created. The notion of art breadth was works that were in the raw state, unpolished. See, not polished one. Okay. As regards cultural and artistic influence, they don't follow any cultural, they don't have any influences, cultural or artistic. Anything and everything from a tin to a sink to a broken down car, anything can be made as raw material for this kind of artwork. Could be material for a work of art. Anything can be used as a material for this kind of an artwork. Something Nechand has taken to dizzying heights, means sensational heights, extreme level, he has taken it. So, Nechand has taken this to extreme level or sensational level, dizzying heights. Recognizing his art as an outstanding testimony of the difference a single man can make when he lives his dream. Yes, it is a single man can make. See, outstanding testimony, is a testimony of witness of what a single man can do when he, lives his dream. When a man lives his dream, this can be achieved. Only when a man lives his dream, this can be achieved, and this is possible to achieve. Yes, his dream can be created using his ability of art. Okay, the Swiss Commission for UNESCO will be honoring him. The Swiss Commission for UNESCO is going to honor him, yes, by way of a European exposition of his works. So his works are going to be exposed in European countries. The 5-month interactive show, a program which exposes his work, interactive show, Realm of Nechand, named as Realm, means area, field of Nechand. Beginning October will be held at leading museums in Switzerland, Belgium, France and Italy. Yes, all these countries there will be exposition of his work and art and exposition of Rock Garden at Chandigarh by our Nechand. You see, the biggest reward is walking through the garden. But according to him, his biggest reward is walking through the garden and seeing people enjoy my creation, says Nechand. Yes. So, the biggest reward for me is seeing people enjoying my creation. That is the biggest reward for me. Not money or not fame or anything of that kind. So, for me, the greatest reward is walking through the garden, rock garden, and seeing people enjoy my creation. That is the greatest reward for Nechand. Of course, the reward for an artist or any artist. That is a perfection of art and artwork. The greatest reward for me is not money or fame, name or fame, but seeing people enjoy my creation. So walking through the garden, according to Nechand, the greatest reward for him is walking through the garden and seeing people enjoy my creation. That is the greatest reward for Nechand. Nechand says that the greatest reward for me is to walk through the garden and see people enjoy my creation. I hope it is clear to you. It is our lesson explained. Okay. If any doubt remaining, please let me know it. I will clarify. Just one thing more I want to mention. Just to look behind me, it is a Chinese landscape painting. Not a typical one, but an average, okay, a Chinese landscape painting. It's okay, that's all. Whatever we discussed in the lesson, it is there. Look there, mountain is there, then water is there, trees and all. The full picture cannot be shown. YouTube small screen now. So it's a nice painting anyhow. So in this way that painting, so several paintings are there representing landscape painting. It is there, but it is one among them. In this way they make that picture. Not exactly typical, okay, still it is okay. This is the way that they make their painting, a Chinese landscape painting, okay, a landscape of the soul. For more updates, subscribe the channel SGK English. Thank you.